So there is one thing I really want to see here, and I'm not going until I've seen it. And would you believe that is a 5-legged goat? Yes, you heard me correctly, a 5-legged goat. The hotel closest to Magic Kingdom, the unmistakable landmark, the Contemporary Resort. Step into the future, but retro style, a 1970s take on the future of design. This resort always reminds me of the Jetsons, with funky shaped furniture and bright colours. It's all about sleek, clean lines, asymmetric shapes and block colours. And what other hotel has a monorail running right through the centre of the lobby? Hello and welcome to Rob's Small World. So, if you can see that mural behind me, you'll know exactly where I am. I'm at the Contemporary Resort in Walt Disney World. So we're going to be taking a look around this resort today and finding out some interesting facts, as well as just looking around what it's got to offer here as well. So come along with me and I'll show you around. So the Contemporary Resort opened in 1971 alongside Magic Kingdom when it opened for the first time. The only other hotel in Walt Disney World at the time was the Polynesian, but of course a lot's changed since. There are so many hotels now. So Chef Mickey's is a character dining experience here in the Contemporary. So this is where you can meet Mickey Mouse, I think it's Minnie, Goofy and Pluto or Donald Duck. So I think the characters do sort of switch around. So it's a buffet, so you've just got to watch, the food isn't going to be amazing. It's sort of quite an average sort of buffet. They do a breakfast option, they also do a dinner option. So with character dining, I always think get a breakfast because you still get all the characters, but it will have a lower price tag as well. Whereas you might be a bit disappointed with the dinner, which has a higher price tag. And next to Chef Mickey's, you've got Contempo Cafe. At the time of filming, only guests staying at the resort here can use mobile order here. This is quite unusual in Walt Disney World, to be honest. You can still order from the regular register. This offers sandwiches, burgers, there's a meatball sub, which I really want to try here, and also a range of flatbreads as well. To the left of Chef Mickey's, you've got the Outer Rim Bar. Now, when I say bar, I mean this is a real bar. They know what they're doing here. They know how to mix cocktails and drinks. So don't be afraid to challenge them, go off menu, ask for an old fashioned, ask for a margarita the way you want them. They know what they are doing. So it's a proper bar. And it's also a proper bar in the sense that they're open past 10 p.m. because I'm finding a lot of the bars around Disney World in different resorts are only open till like 10. And the thing is, if you're coming back late from the parks, often all I can think about is a cold beer or I don't know, Long Island iced tea. And 10 p.m. just really doesn't cut it. So this is a proper bar in the sense it's open till midnight. So yeah, fair play, Outer Rim. I've been there a few times. I definitely recommend it. Oh, and the drinks are strong. So behind the gift shops, down the Magic Kingdom end of the resort, there is this spectacular window. You can see well, it's not really hidden Mickey, is it? It's just a Mickey. But then there's also this really nice little seating area here, and it's a fantastic place to watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks. Well, that's what I've heard, so I'm just going to go out and find where we meet. So yeah, you just come out these doors here, and then you can see Magic Kingdom over there. So you've got a little terrace area here, so you can see Magic Kingdom and the monorail going out the building there. And you see Space Mountain over there. It's a really big terrace actually. But then we all know where the fireworks go off, behind the castle. So if we just head along under the monorail here, you will see a brilliant place to watch the fireworks. I mean, even if you couldn't get one of these little metal seats, just here would be perfect really, because you could just lean on the barriers here. So you get the Contemporary Resort views the fireworks without having to pay the price for California Grill. So this just puts it into perspective a bit more. It's just underneath the monorail track, just as it goes in there. So this monorail is going clockwise, so that's how you know it is the resort monorail. So this resort wasn't always going to be called the Contemporary Resort. Original name was actually Tempo Bay before they finally settled on Contemporary. It was designed by the Walt Disney Company and also US Steel Corporation. In terms of location, you can see it's located right next to the Magic Kingdom, and it also has Bay Lake Tower attached to it. So if you look over here, this walkway that is attached to the Contemporary goes over to Bay Lake Tower, and that is a DVC resort, but it's all part of the same resort, but it's the DVC section of the Contemporary Resort. So if you look over my shoulder there, you will see we're very, very close to Tomorrowland, because you can see Space Mountain. And there's a very good reason for that, because in the original plans, there was a plan where there'd be a walkway or some sort of link between Tomorrowland and the Contemporary. Imagine if it was a people mover, that would be like a massive, massive enhancement. And would you believe it? Bay Lake Tower looks out onto Bay Lake. So an interesting fact about the rooms here, would you believe that the rooms were not actually built on site here in Walt Disney World? So the frameworks, this A-frame was put together, and then off-site the rooms were all assembled separately, and they could actually put together 15 rooms a day. And then what happened was they were then lifted, well, craned into position and basically slotted into the hotel here. I'll try and find some pictures. So in terms of shops, you are sport for choice. You've got Fantasia just here, and then over this side you've got Fantasia Market, which we'll have a look in first of all. And then you've also got Bayview Gifts, so let's go take a look in here. So anyone who's been to the Contemporary Resort will no doubt have seen the massive mural in the lobby. It's actually 90 foot tall, so no small thing by any means. But did you know it was designed by Mary Blair, who is an absolute Disney legend? She was an artist and she worked on movies such as Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, so quite a big deal for the Disney company. And in Walt Disney World you can also see her artwork in It's a Small World, so a lot of that was her design as well. She was very much into colour, and apparently she was like the best at using colour. And Disney are such fans of her that they've even published some books about her artwork. I think there's like 2 or 3 books. But yeah, so in the lobby here, this massive mural was designed by Mary Blair. So let's take a closer look. So at 90 foot tall, it is certainly impressive, and it is a depiction of the Grand Canyon with animals and people. So I can see some goats on there, I can see some birds, several types of birds on there. I'm not sure what these are here. Let me zoom in for you. I'm struggling to work out what these are. Comment down below, let me know what you think those animals are there, just above those goats. I really love the colours on it, really sort of warm colours, and then mixing with the blues as well. So there is one thing I really want to see here, and I'm not going until I've seen it. And would you believe that is a 5-legged goat? Yes, you heard me correctly, a 5-legged goat. So let's see if we can find it. And I think I may have found it, because it's on Mary Blair's mural, but it's on the side I haven't seen yet, which I've just come to. So for the 4th side, so let's have a look. So there we go, amongst the Native American people, up on the tops of these mountains. You can see there are 3 goats there, and this is on the side facing the monorail. There are 3 goats, 2 with 4 legs and there's one there with 5 legs, and I'm really, really pleased I found this. So next time you're pulling in on the monorail into the Contemporary, look out for the 5-legged goat. I'm not sure if it's got a name. And downstairs, next to the front desk, there's a lovely little tribute to the lady I've been talking about a lot in this video, and this is Mary Blair herself. And you can see her in this photograph with pieces of her artwork. And I think her love of colour went into her fashion as well. Absolutely loving that. So this really cool photograph is downstairs near the front desk, and you can see that famous A-frame being constructed here. Lots of cranes involved. So you can see the lagoon behind and the monorail going around, and then you can also see the pillars or the supports here for the monorail being built, ready for it to go right through the middle of the resort. This is really, really cool. And then you can see, if I get a bit closer, these gaps here are where all the rooms are. So this is where they were slotted into position when they were built off-site. The other table service restaurant here is Steakhouse 71, and this is on the first floor, right next to the front desk. It's a bit of an underrated secret location, I'd say. We've eaten here a few times, and the steaks are amazing. So here is Walt Disney in his office, just presenting the Florida project. So it wasn't called Walt Disney World at the time, so the Florida project. Of course, sadly, Walt never got to see his Florida theme park. And here you can see, I'm pretty sure that is Roy Disney with a piece of the monorail track just there. And then you can see some of the Imagineers working on models for the park. Some very famous dwarfs just here. And you recognise those guys up there too. And then what else have we got? So an aerial view of the Magic Kingdom down here. So you can see the castle down to Main Street. More monorail. And then that is the Tomorrowland Speedway, and you can see cable cars going above it. So of course they are not there anymore. I suppose it was like the original Skyliner. I can't remember the name of those cable cars. Drop a comment down below if you know. And then up here you can see Main Street being under construction. So you can see Casey's Corner there on the right hand side. Looks like the train station was put in nice and early, the railroad station. And here, yeah, I'm sure that is Roy Disney again, so that's Walt Disney's brother, with Mickey, Pluto and Goofy. And then up here, you've got Mickey Mouse, and I'm assuming that is the opening day of Walt Disney World with Roy Disney. And then here, a rather impressive photo. Yeah, this must be the inauguration of Disney World, of Magic Kingdom. Really. This is called B-roll. This is called B-roll. So a signature restaurant here at the Contemporary is California Grill, and it's literally perched on top of the resort here. We've eaten here several times, and it has great views of Magic Kingdom and of the fireworks. It is well worth a next to the California Grill check-in desk, there is also a grand piano. I've never seen that being played, but that's a nice little touch just there, isn't it? So I'm sat in this quiet little corner of the Contemporary, and I'm sat opposite the ballroom here. So why am I sat here? Can anyone remember the famous statement, "I am not a crook"? Well, that is why I am here opposite the ballroom in the Contemporary. Because back in 1973, the ballroom just behind me hosted that very famous press conference, which saw 400 journalists question the then President Nixon. And it was all to do with the Watergate scandal. And there were many points where tensions were really high and he was under immense pressure. And it resulted in that famous statement, "I am not a crook." So isn't that mad that that actually happened at Walt Disney World in the Contemporary Resort, in the ballroom just behind me?
I hope you've enjoyed exploring these fascinating facts about the Contemporary Resort. I love researching the history of these places. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, or if there's something Disney related you'd like me to explore, let me know as well. I'll see you soon.